Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys all of my makeup empties from 2022. As I've used up products, I have been setting them aside to share with you guys in this video, and I'm honestly surprised. I went through and totaled up every single makeup item that I've used up and got the value of what they're worth. So I'm gonna let you guys know what that dollar amount is at the end of the video, but I've got to say I'm honestly pretty surprised at how much I was able to use up. So I want to go ahead and jump into it. I do have some pictures of the products, but I'm going to show them to you as well. I just put the picture up to kind of show the price for each category. So let's start with primers. I used up 6 primers in 2022. The first one, not in actual order, but just like the first one I'm going to show you, is the e.l.f. Mint Melt Cooling Face Primer. I actually really liked this one. This was kind of like one of those Milk makeup gripping primers. It's kind of similar to that, but it's a nice drugstore option. The packaging on mine in particular did not work very well, so I didn't like it as far as that goes, but the actual formula I did really enjoy. This retails for about $8. I went off the retail price that they are now. So if I purchased them on sale or if they were cheaper in the beginning of the year, I know a lot of prices have gone up over the years. So I just kind of Googled the price of what it is now, and that's what I went with. So currently this retails for $8. Another one I used up is the Huda Beauty Water Jelly. This one retails for $33. I got this last Black Friday, so this was a pretty quick turnaround for me. I feel like I do go through primers quite quickly because you put them all over your face. I kind of like to lather them on because I do have really dry skin. So this one was pretty good. I don't think I'll repurchase it because I think it's just a little bit too expensive for what you get. But I do honestly think it's a good primer if you can find it on sale or something. You know, it might be worth a try, but I honestly just prefer the ColourPop Pretty Fresh primer. Next up is the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer. This is another really great primer. This one retails for $7 at Walmart. It's a really good one also. So it's more moisturizing than say the e.l.f. Mint Melt, but it still has like a little bit of a grip to it, and once it starts to dry down, it's gonna have a little bit of tackiness to help your foundation stick to it. I could definitely see myself repurchasing this one at some point in the future. I'm not sure if that would be right now, but I do really like this one. And then, like I said, my favorite one right now, it's just such a good one for such a good price. This retails for $12. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Primer, Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Primer. It's such a long name, but this is such a great primer. It's so moisturizing. I love the scent of it. I will say though, I ordered this and it had like a really, so this is my first one that I had, I think. I ordered it again and it had like a dark yellow color to it, and it's supposed to be kind of like a light creamy sort of a color. I think the formula is technically still okay with that, but I did notice the smell wasn't the same that I remembered with this one. So I reached out to their customer service and they sent me a new one. So now I have that one and it's the correct color. Just for reference, this is the color the product is advertised to be, and then it kind of just sometimes looks more like bright orange. I'm not really sure what ingredient in there is like changing colors, but that's just something to note. But I think I will just continue to repurchase this. However, I'll likely pick it up from Ulta so that I can actually see that it's the correct color before I bring it home, because the process of going through customer service and having them resend you the product is honestly just kind of annoying, and I don't really want to have to do that. So I think I'd probably rather just pick it up from Ulta, even if that means I wouldn't get it on sale from ColourPop's website. I think I would just rather do that. Next up, this one I had to estimate the price on. This is the Ilia True Skin Radiant Priming Serum. This is a tiny little mini of it, but the full size is not that large and it's $52. So I valued this one at $10. It honestly could be less than that because it's just like a trial size, but I felt like that was like the best guess I could come up with. So, you know, it might not be perfect, but that's what we're gonna go with. This was several uses of the product, you know, in here. I didn't like this one at all. I felt like it did nothing, and for it being so expensive, I just could not suggest it. I think it's kind of crazy how expensive it is. So that's definitely a no-go for me. But this last one that I used up, I honestly really like this one, and I think I will repurchase the full size. This is the NYX Hydra Touch Primer. This one is so moisturizing. I really liked this one. This is just a mini and it retails for $7. So it kind of is pricey for, you know, a drugstore brand. I feel like NYX is one of those brands that has some really affordable things and then some really expensive things. This one's kind of expensive. I feel like their complexion products are just a lot in comparison to like a lip liner I'm going to share with you guys later that's like $4. So the full size of this I think is like $16 to $18, but I honestly think I will repurchase the full size at some point. I really like this one. It's great for dry skin. So the full estimated retail value of all the primers I used up was $77, which I think is pretty good, but that definitely is kind of, I mean, it just shows like makeup adds up because only one or technically two of these are high end, even though that one's it's like a mini. But, you know, I had a good mixture there of drugstore and high end, and it still totaled $77, which I think is pretty good to use up all of that. So let's move on to foundation. I used up 4 foundations this year. The first one was the Bare Minerals Original Loose Powder Foundation. I've already repurchased this. I just really missed it. I didn't see that I would repurchase it so quickly, but after a couple months of not having this, I did repurchase it. I have mine in the shade Fair 1, and I just honestly, I really like the way this makes my skin look. Like, it's kind of weird because sometimes I put it on and I feel like, oh, it's just okay. But then if I film a video that same day and then I'm editing the video a couple days later, I'll think like, what did I have on my skin? And I'll have to look back and see like what I was wearing. And a lot of the times that I feel like that about my skin, particularly in videos or pictures, it was actually this powder foundation. So I just really like this one. I feel like it has great coverage. It leaves a really nice like not neutral, but like natural satiny finish on the skin. I use it with their foundation brush. I think it works really well with that. I don't really like it with other brushes, but I really like it with that one. And if I didn't say, this one retails for $35, so that was a great one to use up. This one was in my project pan, as were a lot of these products. Next up, this one's kind of crazy. This is the Purito BB cream. And the reason I say it's kind of crazy is because I just got this in March and I already flew through it. And I'm about 1/3 through with the second one. So I repurchased this and I've used up about 1/3 of that one. So this is such a favorite of mine. I would say right now in my collection, this is like top 2. Like this and the Kokie foundation are my favorite. I've already used up over half of that one as well. They're just so good. This one I have in the shade number 21. You can get this for about $8 to $10. So I put it right at $9. I feel like sometimes they just have different prices for different shades, which is so weird. I got this one on Amazon and I got my replacement one on Amazon. So I don't really know what their pricing is, but yeah, I got this one for about $9. So that's what I valued it as for this video. But yeah, it's so great. It's like a medium but buildable coverage. This is the product, I say this all the time. If I have 5 minutes to do my makeup, 100% hands down, this is what I'm using on the complexion. I can get away without using concealer with this if I want to, and I just love it. I think it's so great. I will always repurchase this for as long as I can think about. Next up, another one of my favorites. I use up some favorites, of course, that's why I'm using them up, but I used up the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Foundation. I have this one in the shade Fair 20N, and I, again, love this one. It pairs great with a Pretty Fresh primer, and it pairs great with anything. It also just works great on its own. This is a nice medium kind of satin finish foundation for me, but it's medium buildable. Again, it's kind of like my favorite sort of a finish and coverage level. It's like that satiny finish with a medium coverage. This checks all the boxes for me. This retails for $16, which is again kind of high for a drugstore product, but for me, this performs like a high-end product. The only downside I have for this is that the cap just busts so easily, and I can't stand that. And that's actually the same with the primer, but I forgot to mention it because I had to throw the cap away because it broke so much. So that is like my only gripe about the Pretty Fresh primer and foundation duo. I have also already repurchased this one if you were curious, and I'm still loving it. The last foundation that I used up, or foundation type product, is the Misha BB cream. So I used up 2 like traditional foundations and 2 BB creams. I don't really understand the difference. I like all of them. I don't know. So I used this one up this year because Misha is no longer cruelty free. So, or they're not. And so when I went cruelty free, I haven't repurchased this. So I kind of replaced it with the Purito BB cream. I think they're pretty similar. They both have kind of like a gray undertone, which might sound kind of weird, but for me, that sort of an undertone works really well for my fair skin. So I really like that. I'm sad that it's gone. It does retail for $13, but the reason I'm sad is because I would love to repurchase this and use it again, but the brand is not cruelty free, so I don't really want to purchase from them anymore. But the total of the 4 foundations that I used up is $73. So again, we're kind of in that $70 mark, and I'm really happy about that. Okay, for concealers, I used up 3 concealers, and the first one is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer. Again, I've already repurchased this one. This retails for $12. I love this one. I feel like I hear some people say they love it, and I also hear people say that they hate this one, but this one is more of like a light to medium coverage. I think this one claims to be, yeah, it says it's full coverage. It is not full coverage. Light illusion is true. Like it's light, but it can kind of like give the illusion of medium coverage. So I really like this one. I use it all the time. I've already purchased this one also, and I've been using it like crazy. I will say I can kind of fly through this one if I use it consistently. It doesn't have quite as much product as some other concealers, but when it retails for $12, I can kind of look past that because it's still just such a good deal. And I really like this one too. I like how cool tone this one is. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to tell on camera, but in comparison to some other concealers and in comparison to the next one I'm gonna mention, I love the undertone of this one. Next up is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This one says it has a satin finish. I went back and forth with this one. I find it to be a little bit too drying for me. Actually, now that it's laid down, there's like some product I could probably get out, but whatever, we're calling it an empty. But this one just pulled a little bit too light and also yellow tone on my under eyes. It could sometimes look drying, it sometimes looked heavy. It's just not really something that I want to use. I'm kind of surprised I used this up. So I guess I liked it more than I remember, or else I wouldn't have reached for it. But I don't think I'll be repurchasing this one. I just don't really like it. This one does retail for $7, if I forgot to mention that. But yeah, I just don't really like this one very much. This one has been in so many favorites videos of mine. This is the Rare Beauty Concealer in the shade 140C. This is like a fix-it product for me. I've mentioned this before, so I'm trying not to be a broken record in this video because these are products that I've clearly used up. So I've used them a lot and I've talked about them a lot on my channel, especially throughout the year. So you know, if you're looking for anything specific about any of these products, I would just say like scroll through my channel and look for pictures of them in my thumbnail. I typically put something in the thumbnail where you can kind of tell like what products I'm going to talk about. So I would suggest to do that. But this is one of those products where even if you have powder on or anything, you can put this over top of it. But this does retail for $19. I think this is such a great concealer. So the total of the 3 concealers that I used up is $38. But let's move on to setting sprays. I was so surprised at how much money these setting sprays totaled to be. But it does make sense. There were several high-end ones. So the first setting spray is this one from Charlotte Tilbury. Sorry about all these shadows, you guys. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out my lighting situation, so I'm noticing now, like, if I'm holding something up, that I'm getting a shadow on my face, so I gotta figure that out. But just try and bear with me, please. I am working on it, I promise. But back to the setting sprays. The first one is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. This is just a mini, and it retails for $21. I've already repurchased the full size. I really like it. I think this is a great one. I'm wearing it today. It just makes your skin look kind of like glass skin. It's just so pretty. It helps melt anything on the face in, and it also just helps your makeup last really long. And I keep saying this, but I love the scent of this one. This is such a good one. I can definitely see myself repurchasing over and over and over again. Another one I want back in my collection, I honestly think I might get this like very soon. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Setting Mist. So the ColourPop Pretty Fresh line is overall a winner for me. I have tried their tinted moisturizer years ago, probably like I would say 4 to 5 years ago, and I hated it. So I don't know if I would like it now. I think the tone of it, or the shade of it, was actually a little bit too light for me, so that could have played a part in it. But I remember it really separating on my skin and also just like sitting on top of my skin. So it didn't look very good on me. That's the only product that I have a negative review of, but the other 3 that I've tried, I don't know if they have any more, but the 3 that I've mentioned in this video, I absolutely love. Like, they are tip-top favorites of mine over my entire collection. Anything I've ever tried, such favorites. This one smells amazing. It has like a slight coconutty scent to it. The mist on this is insanely fine. Like, it is so amazing. It doesn't like spit out at you at all. It's just a very fine mist, and I love the smell of it. Of course, this isn't something I would say that's gonna help your makeup last longer, but it's just gonna make it look nice. And it's kind of like just a nice finishing step to your makeup routine. And it can also really refresh your makeup look throughout the day if you need that. So I really love this one. This retails for $12, which I think is a really good value for this. And I really love it. I hated this one. This is the Milk Hydro Grip. It's kind of weird though. I honestly really liked this at first, and then all of a sudden I just started really hating it. So I don't know, when I first started to use it, I was like, wow, this is really making my makeup stay on for forever. And I really felt like it was. And then all of a sudden, it just made my skin look so greasy. And I would use it with the exact same routine that I had used it in previously. And it worked so well then. But then all of a sudden, it just was super greasy. It also started to like spit out the product at my face. And so I'd have these like little droplets of melted makeup with the setting spray. So this was just not something I would repurchase. It was so finicky. I don't know how it was possible. Like, I just loved it in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it was just like trash. I don't know. All right, that light went out again. It was not meant to be. Okay, so next up is an oldie but a goodie. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I've been trying to use this up for quite a long time. This is one of their full-size ones that retails for $33. I actually really like this one. It helps your makeup last, but I love it because it has a cap here and then another cap. And specifically, their travel size one is like that as well. But this is so nice for traveling, or if you're just like gonna go do your makeup somewhere that you don't normally do it at, even if you're not traveling, but like if you're gonna go get ready at your friend's house to go out or something, I don't know, and you want to take your makeup, this is just a perfect one because it's like perfect for getting ready for events. So you'd likely want to take this with you traveling or to go get ready for something, but it also travels really well and it also helps your makeup last. So it's just like all in one, a great product. I think this is just like an honest, just staple product. I think it's really great. And then lastly, this is the e.l.f. Dewy Coconut Setting Mist. This is a long-lasting setting mist. I've already repurchased this one as well. I really like both of the two of these setting sprays, the ColourPop one and the e.l.f. one. They're really good drugstore products that I think just hold up really well. But the e.l.f. one I find actually helps your makeup last longer, whereas the ColourPop one is more so just like a finishing spray. The e.l.f. one actually does, I think, kind of last and hold up to the long-lasting claim that it has. So that's why I think I was more inclined to repurchase that one quicker than the ColourPop one. I just think it lasted a little bit longer on the skin. So from the 5 setting sprays I was able to use up, the total value was $97. That honestly is like crazy to me. I mean, $100 on setting spray just feels kind of crazy, but I'm just honestly excited to see all these empty, and I'm really glad I put the value to them because sometimes it's easy to just think about like, oh, I already bought this, and so it's just like a product. But to think about the value in dollars that it holds is honestly kind of helpful. So I'm actually really enjoying that on this empties video. Okay, for powders, I was able to use up 3 powders, one of which was a loose powder, which I think is pretty impressive for me at least. So the first one is this one from Hard Candy. This is the Chilling Wonder Powder Sheer Envy Loose Powder, and this is the hydrating one. So this is, of course, the loose powder I was talking about. And I did use this one up this year. I was so excited to use this up, honestly. It was pretty good. This is a very unique loose powder. I've mentioned that before, but something about it is honestly just so natural and just nice to wear. So I really do like this one. I don't know that I'm going to repurchase it anytime soon, but I do suggest it if you're wanting to try one. Just know that it's not your typical like mattifying loose powder. It's going to kind of blur. Like I would say it slightly mattifies, but it mostly just like blurs the skin and helps like keep your oils down, but without taking away the shine. So I think this is a very nice, natural looking loose powder. I think it's good for dry skin too. So if you want a powder and you have really dry skin, I would suggest that one. And that one retails for $7. Okay, next up, the one I'm holding up is full. I have an empty one somewhere. I don't know what I've done with it, but this is the number 7 pressed powder. I've obviously repurchased this. This retails for $13, but I did use this up this year. I saved the compact so that I could repress something else into it, which now that I say that, I think it's in my drawer that has like my backup makeup, but regardless, I use the same one up. This one's in the shade Light, and it's just a really great setting powder, just a nice solid powder. I really like this one. It retails for $13 and I liked it enough to repurchase it. I also used up the CoverGirl Clean Fresh powder, so I'm counting this one as an empty, but it's technically just been repressed into the Lip Bar palette, but let me explain. So the Lip Bar palette is a face quad and has a face powder, blush, highlight, and bronzer. And this year I completely used up the powder and then hit pretty massive pan in this CoverGirl powder. I always want to say ColourPop. And then once I needed to kind of repress this one, or I could have used it longer, but I repressed this into the palette. So in all, I do think I used up enough to count this as an empty because I had used this one up and then used the majority of this powder up. This is more like a mini and this is a full size. So we're counting it as an empty, okay? I make the rules here and that's what we're going with. So this product retails for $12. I have already repurchased it. So I use it both as a single and then also in that face palette because I don't always want to reach for the face palette when I just want to use the single. So that's that. But the total for the face powders is $32 for the 3 that I used up. And then we do have 5 lip products, which is more than I thought I used up. I didn't realize I'd actually gone through that many. So the first one is a lip liner that I mentioned earlier from NYX. This is in the shade Nude Suede Shoes. It retails for $4. I could have sworn this retailed for like $7. Did it go down in price? I don't know. But I Googled it and it said it was $4 at Ulta. So that's what we're going with. I've already repurchased this one as well. Love this one so much. It's just a great like neutral lip liner, but that one is gone. So definitely needed to repurchase it. And I think I repurchased it like pretty much immediately. Next up is this product from Fenty. This is the Slip Shine lipstick in the shade Glazed. I have another one of these and I'm honestly ready to use it up. But I did really like this one. This is one of those kind of like glossy lip balm type products. This one in particular is like more of a neutral pink sort of a shade. This product retails for $24. I do like this. I just like other things more and I don't see myself wanting to repurchase it. So I'm not planning on it and I just don't think I will be. But next up is this lipstick from Rare Beauty. This is a mini. I got it in a duo that cost about $14 or $15. So I'm counting the value of this as $7 because it's like roughly half of what the duo cost, but this one was in the shade Thankful. I liked this okay, but I didn't like it enough to repurchase a full size of it or anything. It was just kind of basic, I guess. I don't know. It just wasn't really a favorite of mine. I think it's nice. I just have lipsticks I prefer a lot more than this one. So, it was nice and I used it up. I actually used up a lot of it without trying to use it up. And then at the end, I just decided to kind of power through and use it up. But the fact that I used up most of it just kind of on its own, I think says that it was pretty nice. However, the next one is like one of my tip top favorite lip products. This is the Kaja Gloss Shot Lip Gloss in the shade Milk Tea. I love this one. I didn't even shut up about it, I feel like all year. I got this one, I think last year for Black Friday also. This particular shade is just kind of like basically a clear gloss, but it has like a slight pink tint to it. I got this in a duo as well, so I'm counting the value of this as $10 because it was like $20 or $22 for the kit. I'm seeing 2 different prices online, so I'm counting this as $10, but I love this one. I've already repurchased the full size. I've also almost used up the Rosy Mocha shade. I could probably use that up by the end of the year, but I'm filming this a few days, like about 6 days before the end of the year. So I'm not counting it, but it'll probably be in next year's empties. So I might just like take a break from it and finish it up in January or something. But this is such a good gloss. It is not sticky at all. I love the packaging of it. Like it's just so pretty to me. I love that. It's very like satisfying to see the product being used up. So that's such a good one. And then this is another favorite. This is the Tarte Quench Lip Rescue. This retails for $16. This was gifted to me by one of my friends. She was so sweet to get this for me. This one was in the shade Rose, but I actually just got the one in the shade Nude. I picked that up on Black Friday for like part of my Christmas makeup. So I actually just shared that with you guys in a video. I'm not sure when it would have gone up in comparison to this one, but I'm very glad to have this formula back in my collection. That one's in the shade Nude, but this one in Rose is so good. Again, it's one of those like creamy lip balm type products. So good. I highly suggest this to literally anyone. It's that good. Such a good purse product too. But that was my last lip empty. So for the lips, the total was $61 of used up products. Okay, next up we have all of the eye and brow products minus mascara. So first up is an eyeshadow primer. This is the Ulta Beauty Matte Eye Primer in the shade Nude. I really like this one, and now that I've used it up, I honestly kind of miss it, but I've purchased so many eye primers recently just to kind of like test them all out that I don't really need to repurchase it anytime soon, but I also kind of want to. So this is just a really good one. It is in a squeezy tube. I prefer a doe foot, but it's a good product. It is nice for kind of like canceling out any veins or anything on the lids, but it also helps your makeup, like your eyeshadow, last longer in my opinion. And I find that it helps shadows to not crease. That one is a mini, so the full size is $12. So I just halved it. I didn't really, to be honest, take the time to look up like the fluid ounces and do it that way. I didn't really like care enough to do that, to be honest. So I just halved the value and marked it as $6. This is honestly just supposed to be an estimate, so I'm just kind of rolling with it. But next up, we have a couple of eyeliners. So we have the Stila mini eyeliner that retails for $12. I didn't really like this one, to be honest with you. It honestly just transferred every single time I used it. So this one I didn't like at all, but I did use it enough to use it up. It kind of dried up pretty quickly, but I did consistently use it. I just didn't really like it that much. Unfortunately, the same thing kind of goes for this one from Fenty. This is the Fenty Fly Liner. This one just didn't wear well on me. I felt like it broke apart throughout the day. It kind of like looked more dull throughout the day. I have mine in the shade, I'm not sure. I've got the black one. I think there's a brown one too, but I have the black liner in this one also. I just didn't like it. It dried up super quickly too, and it just wore terribly. It broke apart. It sometimes would transfer, but for the most part, it just kind of like faded and broke apart. I got this one in a duo with their eye primer, so I halved the value of it to call this one $12. So that's where I'm getting the value of that mini. But my favorite liquid eyeliner, this is the e.l.f. H2O Proof Eyeliner Pen. I used this one up this year as well. This one retails for $7. It is so good. Lasts on my lids like crazy, but even though it's waterproof, it is waterproof, but it's not a pain to take off at the end of the night compared to, oh, my lights are dying. It's not that terrible to remove at the end of the day, especially compared to some other waterproof products that I've tried. I really like that one, and I'm definitely gonna repurchase that over the other ones, even though the first two that I mentioned were high end. They just don't really work well for me. Next is a product that I actually counted this as a declutter. I put this in my declutter video, and then my friend Leanne commented and was like, this is definitely an empty, like you need to count this as an empty. I'm like, you know what, you're right. So this retails for $6. This is from e.l.f. It's one of their like liquid glitter products, kind of like the Stila ones. This one's in the shade Pinky Swear, and there's just a tiny little bit left in there, but I, for the most part, really have used this up. There's just a little bit left. It just dried out. I took the stopper out and everything, but I can't use it anymore. So I'm going to count this as an empty because she convinced me to. So thank you, Leanne, for commenting that. But yeah, this one, I do really like it as far as what it's intended for, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, it's pretty as like a topper. It's going to be really glittery and just kind of give you like a light wash, but I can't suggest it because that's the only thing it's good for. And I don't know if I'm making any sense. But to me, I wanted this to be like more of like a nice foiled look. I just don't think that's what it's meant to be. So depending on what you want, I would suggest it or not. I don't know. It's just kind of chunky, and if you like put it on too much or try and make it opaque, it's just gonna crack and look super crepey on the lid. But as a really light glitter topper, it's very pretty. So just take that with a grain of salt, I guess. And then I used up two of the same products. These are the e.l.f. Wow Brow. I finally realized which shade was better for me. I first used up the shade Taupe, and I kind of hated this, and then for some reason I decided to pick up another one, and I'm really glad that I did because I picked up the shade Brunette, and it's perfect for my brows. I don't have it in today, but I use it almost every day now. I have another one in the shade Brunette, so this one's definitely a favorite now. These retail for $5 each, so I'm just figuring I'd talk about them together. And then, so I forgot to mention one product in the brow category because I wanted to use it completely up, and I used it today, and I really think it's gone. So this is the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. I have the mini for $9. I have loved this thing. I think I got this in the beginning of the summer. I remember it being hot outside when I bought this, but I just don't remember when I got it. So I've had it for a long time. For $9, this has lasted like crazy. I used it every single day for months and months and months, and it's just now running out. So I think that's super impressive. So for the picture of all the brow products, I had $53 worth, but this is an additional $9. So sorry that that's not in the picture, but I took the pictures earlier and then I just realized I forgot to put that in there. So we'll add that in at the end. So, okay, the last category is mascaras, and I'm going to fly through these just because I've been talking a lot and there's a lot of mascaras. I used up 16 mascaras, so I'm basically just going to tell you if I like them or not, their value, and if I would suggest them, and like maybe like 2 words about them. I'm counting this as one. This is a Huda Beauty like sample. I'm counting this as a $15 value because I think it has the same amount as their small travel size, even though it's in this awful packaging. But it is the dual-ended mascara, so I'm counting this as one for $15. I hated this. I just didn't like it at all. Like, I would not suggest it. It got everywhere. Did not stay on my lashes. I think it's terrible. Don't even spend your money. Just save your money on that one. Next up is the REM Beauty Lengthening Mascara. This one retails for $15. It's more on the natural side, but it's pretty. I don't think I'll repurchase it, but I don't think it's bad. I just prefer more of a like clumpy, intense lash look. So this one is, it's just okay for me. So let's talk about the next 2 together. These are the Essence Lash Princess. I have used up both the Curl and Volume and the Sculpted Volume one. I love these. They retail for $5 each. So I'll show you the wands. Here is the Curl and Volume one. It's more of like your typical sort of hourglass shape with the natural bristles on them. Love that one. And the next one is the Sculpted Volume. I actually think I like this one more. This one has a really nice wand. It's more curved, so it can really like help kind of curl lashes up and get in between every lash. Really like these. I already have a whole stash of them. I kind of like to have one of the Essence Lash Princesses open at all times, just because it's honestly really nice to like mix in with other mascaras. It's a really good one. We've got a lot of minis to talk about, so we'll grab a few of them. The first one is the Bite Upswing. Bite is no longer a brand. I hated this mascara. I'm not going to spend much time on it, but this was a mini that retails for $14. Wouldn't even suggest it if they were still a brand. Just got everywhere. Next up is another mini that retails for $13. This is the Ilia Fullest Volumizing Mascara. This one is pretty good too. This is more of like an hourglass shape. Again, I like this one, but it's not my favorite, especially in comparison to my favorite. So that was a good one, but for me, I don't need to repurchase because I prefer their other one. Next up is a mini. Their minis retail for $15. I don't know if this is the mini size or like a sample size. I'm counting it as $15, but I'm realizing that I also threw away the e.l.f. Big Mood Mascara, so I'm missing some. So you know what? I'm going to count this one as a $15 mini price because I don't know how else to price it. But this is the Charlotte Tilbury Push Up Lashes. I think this was terrible. I honestly didn't like this at all. The wand is actually kind of cool, but it just didn't like look good on the lashes. I don't think it lasted very well. I remember this transferring. I just remember I did not like that one at all. All right, 3 more minis here. We got a lot. So this one is not cruelty free, just to put that out there. This was free for like my birthday gift at Ulta or something. This is the Lash Idole from Lancome. I didn't like this one at all either. I actually kind of hated it. I've heard so many good things about this, so I kind of thought I was gonna like it. Here's what the wand looks like, which looks good, but again, this one transferred on me, and I just remember it not looking intense enough for me. I really like a bold lash look. So this one is the Anastasia mascara. I actually really liked this one. I was sad when I used it up, but I think it's a really good one. It again has that natural bristle hourglass type wand. I think it's a really good one. That one retails for $13. I think it's pretty good. I don't know that I'd pay it full price for the full size, but I do think it's good. And then for $15, this is the mini of the Tarte Maneater mascara. I really liked this one, and again, I was sad to use it up. This one is Emily from Emily's Makeup Bag's favorite mascara, and so I was excited to try it. I think she just mentioned that they have a brown one, so I'm definitely going to pick up the brown one because I want a good brown mascara that can really be built up, and that sounds like what I will want. For me, this is not like my tip-top mascara. I think it's really, really good, but I think I like it similarly to the Essence Lash Princess. Maybe I think I like it more than that Lash Princess, but not that much more. And since the price is so much higher, I don't think I would repurchase the full size for full price. I could see myself getting a mini, or if I have points and this is available or something like that, I would definitely pick it up. But I think in a brown mascara, I would love that formula. So I definitely think I will be picking up the brown version of that. Okay, we're working our way through. I have a couple that I got in PR. This one I got from Milk. This is the Rise mascara. This was $28. It was absolutely terrible. Save your money. The packaging is messy. The product is messy on the eyes. It doesn't look good. Just save your money on that one. It's so bad. This is a lash primer I just put with mascaras. This is the Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer. This retails for $5 as well. I just didn't really see the point in this, honestly. I really just didn't get my money's worth out of it, even though it was only $5. It just didn't really do a lot for me. But if you have like shorter or sparser lashes, I could definitely see how you'd like that, especially if you have shorter lashes. But that's just kind of if you like a primer type of product, but for me, I just don't. Next up is the Freck mascara. I think this is the worst mascara I tried all year. This is the Mascara Lash Rocket. I had such high hopes for this. I did get this one in PR as well, but this is an expensive mascara. This is $26. This is the most luxe feeling mascara I've ever gotten, I've ever seen, I've ever held, anything. It's so weighted. The wand feels so nice, but the formula is trash, like absolute trash. Save your money. It got everywhere. It's awful. Like I was so disappointed in that one, honestly. That's like one of the biggest letdowns of a product that I tried all year. Like, I don't even care if that sounds dramatic. It's true. Okay, CoverGirl Clump Crusher. I think CoverGirl mascaras are just not for me. And with that being said, the CoverGirl Uncensored, not for me. This one, awful. This doesn't barely even have a stopper. Like, look how gunked up that is. It is awful. I think it's disgusting. Like, the longer I'm filming, the more like sassy I'm getting, but I hated this one. This one's just like, okay. I think this one I had in brown, so this is like my brown mascara. I just need a brown mascara to do more. Like, just because it's brown and it's supposed to be like more natural doesn't mean I don't want it to be able to like build up. I want it to be able to be built up. So that's just not for me. I think I'm going to stop getting the CoverGirl ones. The last mascara, the last empty of the year for me is this one from Catrice. This is the Glam & Doll Easy Wash Off Power Hold Volume Mascara. This one's pretty good. It's a tubing mascara. It's more on the natural side though. So that being said, it's not my favorite, but it's not bad. It is a good mascara if you want more of like a natural type of mascara look. That one retails for $7. I forgot to mention the CoverGirl mascaras retail for $12 and $13. I'm just trying to say it in case you're not looking at the visual, but all of those totaled up for mascaras is $215 of empty mascaras, which is mind-blowing to me. I think that is crazy. I'm very excited about that. Okay, so if you haven't been totaling up the prices of all of these categories with me, that's totally fine because that was a lot. So in total, I used up $655 of makeup last year, or this year. I am so excited and proud about that. I mean, just to think about the fact that all of these are empty and used up, it's just so nice. This video has taken forever, so I was going to add in my makeup empties that I've used up since the last time I filmed one of these, and also like my non-makeup items. So I just went ahead and lumped in all of the makeup items with the year-end ones. But I did have this basket of empties that were not makeup. So I'm gonna put the picture in so you guys can see all of them, but I just want to talk about like the main products, I guess, that I used up in this one. So the first one is this sunscreen from Hawaiian Tropic. I really liked this one. I definitely will repurchase that one once I've used up some more sunscreens. I also just really wanted to kind of update you guys on this Kopari Peptide Glow Hydrating Moisturizer. I think this is pretty good for like a summertime moisturizer. It's more of like a gel type consistency. It's not a gel though. It's just like more lightweight. So I just wanted to mention that. I don't think it's super great if your skin is extremely dry. As my skin got drier, as the weather got colder, I didn't really like this one very much. So this one's not a tip-top favorite for me, but I just wanted to mention that. And then the third product, I'll show you guys the picture, but the third one I actually wanted to mention in the video is this Eva NYC Therapy Session Hair Mask. This is such a good hair mask, you guys. I have a lot of hair. It's very long and I have a lot of it. And this is such a good value. It's like $15 and the jar is just massive. This is just such a good product. It smells really good. I am sensitive to fragrances and I can get headaches. So this one doesn't bother me. I will say though, scented products in the shower don't bother me as much for some reason. I think just because you have like all of the steam and the water and everything. So maybe it's just not as like effective at giving me a headache. I don't know if that makes sense, but I have better luck is what I'm saying with like shower scented products. So that one doesn't bother me. I don't find that it lingers too long after the shower, but my hair does smell nice afterwards. So I think that one's just such a good value. It really just hydrates my hair, especially if I have like really dry hair that day or something. So those are the 3 out of everything I wanted to mention that I thought you might be interested in knowing the review. But if there's something else in the image that you're wanting to know about, feel free to just ask me in the comments and I will let you know what I think about it. But I feel like I've been talking forever, and honestly, I've been sick, so my voice is going away, and after talking so much, my throat is killing me. So I'm gonna wrap this video up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see some more content from me. I'm actually really enjoying filming again after kind of like a month-long break. So thank you guys for supporting my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.